Alright, hello and good evening everyone. Welcome back to Control. It's been about a month, better part of a month since I last played this, so apologies for that. Most of the time that I've tried to stream this, it was like stupidly hot in here and I could not focus. But here we are. Excuse me. Am I coming through okay? Two things I want to make sure that are coming through okay. Let's make sure everything's synced first. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. It's probably off. Oh, it is. It's synced. Okay. Secondly, I want to make sure that's something else in here because I've added a few things. Those of you who are here, what was that? The last two streams that I did this week, I added some sound effects that were anime inspired. I added a new thing in here as for my my control. I don't know, there's a bunch of things that I have on here that I have not used in a while. Probably one of the more recent ones was this one, the censored screen. I don't think I've ever used this one. It doesn't have any audio to it, but yeah, that's just me thinking. However, I'm curious about if this, because this one does have audio. It's not coming through on my end. I don't know if it's coming through on yours. I'm gonna need Mike, I'm gonna need your input on this. Oh, why is it looping? Okay, so you are getting sound? Okay. Oh, you're not? Shit. Why is it? Because I'm seeing an audio, because the audio thing's there. I don't know why it's not coming through. Oh, well, I'll figure that out. Yeah, that's just from my own fuck ups thing, but I do actually know the original source of that because I used to watch that anime. It's from You're Under Arrest. Love that one. I have to track that down. I don't think it's on Crunchyroll. I'll have to look somewhere else. All right. Anyways, let's get back to it. So let's see. Where did we last leave off? I think, if I remember correctly, yeah, we were here. We were trying to find a way into ordinary. I'm trying to remember how. Okay. That switches. That floats. That switches shoulders. That's a dodge. Kinesis. Shield. And it's just fire in general. Okay. That's melee. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so we're here. That's right. I couldn't find these things. This one, I think we tried. And didn't. I think it was. I'm trying to remember what this one was. I think we tried it and it was like a hard challenge. This one I just couldn't find. And I think this one's just straight up story. So remember how to do this. Oh crap, not those things. Where am I supposed to go?
There's gotta be a way to rotate these tracks. Maybe there's a control panel nearby.
Why's it gotta be down there? I don't want to deal with that thing.
There's gotta be a way to rotate these tracks. Maybe there's a control panel nearby.
Guess who just had to inspect an inbound delivery of 100 teensy tiny little boxes? Me, that's who. And you know what was inside each one? A single human tooth. Fucking gross. She got forklift certified.
Something's wrong.
There we go. It is all coming back to me. Uh-huh. Also, I need to make sure this it still works. This will count for one whenever I actually do say it again. Okay. Only 24 times? I feel like I've said it more times than that. Oh, that's not good. Been slacking and or forgot about it. Let's just say plus 10. Okay, so 34 times. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh! vaguely remember that one. Huh. Neat. Ah, crapiola. I'm just gonna keep ignoring those because those come up at the worst possible times. Alrighty, let's go down here. Oh, hey. You back from your break? Actually, before I do anything here. Beast, yeah, exactly. Beast Raid at the Castaway Village. But at least those aren't like on a time limit. These are. All right. What was it? Nightbot. Let's see. WTF. Alright, it's plus 10, so let's make it 34. There we go. Fixed. Just trying to get that central one. Trying to do it with the Chromebook. How'd you do it before? Interesting. Laptop, but it died. Oh. Yeesh. Sorry that happened. Is the Chromebook at least like better than the laptop you had? Yeesh. Well, here's hoping it lasts. No, that's not what I wanted. So got that one, and got that one. Oh. You'll go with there. Can't use OBS on it. Jeez. It's been a hot minute since I played Control, mostly because it either was really hot to play this game and I couldn't focus, or I got sick. invisible? Boom, headshot. Also, how's the game audio? I know it's like different. I think the Switch came through fine. Is this one a little soft, or do I have to bring it up a little bit? It's good. Okay. Airplane evaluation order. Airplane wreckage. The airplane in question has been brought in from a private airfield located in the town of Redacted, Cincinnati. It is suspected to be connected in the Redacted AWE, see case file redacted for details, and is being evaluated for altered status. The plane is currently being stored in transit corridor in the containment sector. Brought there through the New York subway tunnel. Special access redacted. For more information on Tunnel Redacted and links to urban legends centered on ghost stations, abandoned tracks, and redacted. The plane's black box is currently being evaluated for redacted, and initial readings have been taken by a research team, though no altered status has yet been detected. I remember seeing this picture on, I think it was Facebook, or was it Twitter? I don't know, but a lot of people were. It's this building in New York, and it has no windows, none at all. It's just like it's a pretty tall building, and like the common comments I see about that, like people wondering what that building is that it's either the MIB building or it's the oldest house, and it gave me a good chuckle. Oh, they redact everything, so. Not like that's gonna change. It's my layer. Don't like natural light. Yours or Corbo's? Ordinary. I find that funny how that knocked you out, considering it's just a cardboard box and it's phasing through your foot. Ordinary. Stage 1.A dump. The first slide was a room with a dirty wallpaper and dolls on a shelf. There were a lot of dolls. DF interview 2002. The house was empty. No one lived there. We played in there a lot. It was our playhouse. Oh! Dylan Faden and Jesse Faden. Speaking of which, what is it? I don't know. I think that was the idea. Mostly, I can understand for Noah Fielding. I would like that, like your initial inspiration for him, anyways. I went to school with Neil. Some kids called him Nosebleed Neil. Likely Neil Hosenberg, missing. It was mean. He had asthma. Tom, likely Tom Barlow, missing. And his gang, Freddie, likely Frederick Bartwell, missing. Hugh, no one by this name was found in the public records, bullied him. We brought Neil to the dump to play. Dylan Faden. picked up Starfield. No, it's not really on my radar. And the games that I do have that are include Baldur's Gate 3, Armored Core 6, and Mortal Kombat 1. However, Mortal Kombat 1 will probably be the next game that I buy, and it's probably going to be the next Let's Play I do after either of these. Either when I finish this or Ace Attorney.
You're listening to America Overnight, celebrating 29 years shining a light in the shadows. Thanks for staying with us. Here's our first caller.
What I'm about to tell you, if they found out, I don't know what would happen.
If you found out, brother.
The men in the suits, they told us an industrial accident. But this is something else. Something nobody talks about. Ordinary.
This certainly doesn't sound very ordinary, caller.
No, not ordinary. Ordinary. It's a town. And it wasn't an industrial accident. I mean, that's what they said. But that's bullshit.
Whoa, please one call. It may be 2 a.m., but we're still a fun show.
I'm sorry. It's just my brother was there. They said the town was destroyed, but it wasn't. I went there. The people are gone, but the town's there. It's still there.
So the population of an entire town disappears, yet the town remains. Tell me, was the phrase, "there is no salvation," written anywhere?
I'm not sure.
The same thing happened in Brazil in 23, a village called Rio Verde. More than 600 people just up and left. The government said they were fleeing guerrilla forces, but we know the truth. A mass abduction. As predicted by my regular guest, Dr. Quincy Reagan.
Abduction? You mean aliens? That's bullshit. I know they're lying.
Now I warned you about the language, caller. I'm afraid we're gonna have to cut you off. Good timing too. It's time for a short break. Hang in there. America Overnight will be right back.
Either abductions or the rapture. I want that. I want. Oh, it's gonna take the whole thing, not just the blade. Come on now. Ordinary summary. An AWE occurred in the town of Ordinary caused by an object of power, a slide projector, discovered by local children at the dump outside of town. When a specific set of slides are used in the projector, the projected images open doorways to other dimensions. Multiple slides were used by the children, resulting in the disappearance of the town's adult population. On August 30th, 2002, siblings Dylan Faden, 10 years old, CP6 materials, and Jesse Faden, 11 years old, CP7 materials, were playing at the local dump when they found the discarded slide projector. A team led by Director Trench and Dr. Darling arrived at the site on September 14th. The AWE had ended, but the team found the Faden children, who led them to the slide projector and the slides, which had been burned with the exception of one. Jesse escaped when the agents attempted to detain the pair. In total, 17 surviving individuals were found in the town. All of them were brought in for questioning and tests. See interviews redacted and Prime Candidate program files redacted. So yeah. Jesse escaped, and Dylan got brought in for the Prime Candidate program, aka P6. And
there is a curious correlation with the yet unknowable forces intruding upon our world, in the form of altered world events. These forces gravitate toward archetypal objects, a gun, a television, a supposedly haunted house. So clearly humanity affects this process. Our collective unconscious is a map of sorts. We hold the key, but we don't know how to use it. We create these archetypes through everyday life, popular culture, urban legends, but we are observing and influencing a complicated system in action. We can change the likelihood of something being a receptacle for these forces just by thinking about it. But we haven't found a method to control the outcome. And yet, there's something unique in us, in our dreams, a conceptual reality with power with our minds? What's the cause and what's the effect? Are we the starting point or just a necessary evil in this? A byproduct? A reflection? A projection? We'll struggle to find the answers to these hard questions. Or die trying.
Wow, this stream title really hooked in. That was completely unplanned because I've been like the past couple streams I've been going off of a quote by Erwin McManus from a book called The Way of the Warrior. It's pretty on the nose. Oh, the whole thing about the P6 is that it's the prime candidate program in the context of this game is that it was selecting the next person who would be the director. P6 was Dylan Faden, and P7 was actually Jesse Faden, who is now the current director. It's like trying to figure out who's the best candidate to take on that role and able to actually survive. Town proper witness testimonies. Jesse and me followed the dung monkeys to the cave. There was a lot of them. More of the kids from the town had joined up. It was really scary. Jesse grabbed the projector and we ran as fast as we could. They chased us. I fell and hurt my knee. Jesse tried to help me, but the dung monkeys were coming. They were just about to get us, but then Neil showed up. Neil looked like a dog. Like a melted dog, but I knew it was him. Neil said a lot of times he didn't like being a boy because Tom just beat him up. I think he liked being a dog. The projector wouldn't turn off, so he changed the slide to the hand. I heard her immediately. She promised to help. Jesse Faden, therapy session 2010. Jesse said we should call her Polaris. It's because she knew what. It's because she was doing the stars at school. Additional slide designation hand is verified and in the Bureau possession. Unconfirmed existence of paranatural entity designation Dog Neil. But, I don't like the sound of that. Yeah, crapiola. Ah, they're going berserk! Gotta break their AT fields. Are you gonna use that every time you come in here?
Annual evaluation of Dylan Faden, formerly P6, performed by Dr. Carla Vaughn. The questions asked here correspond to the 5th iteration of the Gunner's psychological assessment. Are you ready, Dylan? Let's begin then. In a single word, describe the world around you.
Where's Casper?
Dr. Darling is out of the building today.
He's never out. He didn't want to come. He never visits, not since Roberts. Tell Darling it wasn't my fault. I couldn't control it yet, but I can now. I learned. Will you tell him?
In a single word, describe the world around you.
A prison. A cold, empty prison. Not even a poster on the wall.
What is the next number in the sequence 3, 6, 9, 12, 15?
18.
18.
What day is it today?
How the hell would I know?
It's Friday.
Give me a calendar.
Actually, no, it's Saturday.
You find a rabbit in the woods. It is breathing, but not moving. You cannot see any blood. What do you do?
Leave it.
Expand on that.
It doesn't matter.
Leave it alone,
None
it's
of
sleeping.
Not real. None of it's real.
What day is it today?
Do you enjoy asking people questions that can't be answered? Is this what gets you up in the morning? What you dreamed of doing as a scared, stupid little girl?
Can you describe a dog to me?
In ordinary, we had a friend. Nosebleed Neil. And when it all went crazy, you know what I mean. Nosebleed Neil turned into a dog. Or something like a dog.
What day is it tomorrow?
Fuck off! I don't know! There is no calendar! How can I fucking know?
Dylan, calm down.
Fuck you! Fuck you and fuck Casper! Hey! Are you watching this, you old fuck? Did you send your bitch because you're too scared of me? Where is Casper?
Security, get a team in here. I need...
And killed this one too? After what happened to school to Mrs. Chester, we started spying on Tom and saw where they took the projector. Tom and his troglodytes were using the Sled Hill Cave as their headquarters. That's where the projector was. They've been using the temple slide. We called it that, but it was really a broken concrete thing, like a warehouse or a bomb shelter, or something very dark. The Knot mother lived there with her babies, children, I don't know. She was feeding Tom and the others her milk. They were changing into little monsters. We called them dung monkeys. Oh, this is just getting worse and worse. Can we upgrade anything? I need one more corrupted sample, and that's it. The second slide we called the Meadow, but it was really just an empty lot with a bunch of weeds. There was a shack and a phone line. It smelled like flowers there. It was powerful, intoxicating. We had crazy dreams there. It must have been because of the smell. I didn't like it. Didn't like losing control. In the dreams, everything was melting, and then we'd come out. Everything had melted around the projector. Neil was really into it. We found out he'd been coming there more and more on his own. Then Tom beat the secret out of Neil and found the projector, and his goons took it. We thought Neil had got lost inside the meadow when Tom changed the slide, but that's not what happened. We got the meadow, we got the house, like a warehouse kind of thing. Oh no, it's a big old... Oh, this ain't no rabbit hole.
Let's see what they have on ordinary. It's all here. Our home, our school, the woods, the dump.
That house was glowing. This must be the dump up here. Shit. Can I have that? Ow!
The slide projector in the dump outside town. Did they recreate that too? Is that where they keep it?
Ordinary dump site, turntable, transit corridor.
You mentioned a poem last time we talked. By Thomas Zane?
Yes. Beyond the shadow you settle for, there's a miracle illuminated.
I looked the poem up. Only I couldn't find any poet by that name. I did find a European filmmaker who moved here in the 60s, named Thomas Zane. What? I don't matter. It suits you very well. The poem. How you see things. Maybe you wrote it yourself? I didn't. No matter. You've said a few times that you feel like there's a piece of you missing. Can we talk about that?
Okay. Yeah, it's this. I feel an emptiness, a yearning for something that I think I lost.
It's natural for you to feel that way. Your brother and your parents are dead.
No!
No, Dylan's not dead.
And that's not even it.
You're referring to the imaginary friend from your childhood?
Polaris.
Polaris.
She's come back. After a long time, she's calling me. In a dream I saw, she showed me things. Jessie,
It felt more real than anything. As real as what happened in Ordinary.
the industrial accident in your hometown that you believe Polaris caused.
No, it wasn't an accident. There was no industrial accident, and Polaris didn't cause it. She saved me and Dylan.
Jessie,
No! It was a cover-up. The government knows about it. There were agents there. Agents from... I don't know exactly. They took Dylan. I'll find them. I won't stop looking. Polaris wants me to go to New York. There's a building there. I have to leave soon. I have to be there at a very specific time. Something hugely important is going to happen.
Jessie, you know we can't let you go until you're well. And that begins by understanding what's real and what's imagined.
Was she in the psych ward? Shit.
Moved the whole landfill here in the middle of New York, and nobody saw a thing. Pretty unbelievable.
And they cause another blackout to cover up the whole thing? By the order of Dr. Darling, all work in the ordinary dump is to stop effective immediately. Resources will be allocated to the redacted department. Details will be forthcoming. This area will be sealed at the end of the month. Please remove all personal effects before that time. Any photographic slides, the type used on the slide projectors, found in the area should be delivered to Dr. Darling immediately. I should not be here. Here we go. Ow. Take care of that orb. I just throw a bike at you.
We should check that lab.
Gross. Here you go, buddy.
Effective immediately. I'm setting a new department. Dimensional research in the research sector. Transferring the slide projector there. That's where my focus will be now. The ordinary site remains as is. We'll be back to... I don't know when.
Darling took the projector to the research sector. He dedicated a whole area to it, so he knew it was important. Dimensional research. That's where we go next.
Think it's time to go pay Dylan a visit. A finished tango. A dark place.
Dylan's a lost cause. I know, I struggled to see this. We contained him. I wish I had sided with Marshall. Back when it was just one person. So many dead. I thought his youth was an asset. Just too much too soon. Effective immediately. I'm setting up a new department. Dimensional research in the research sector. Transferring the slide projector there. That's where my focus will be now. The ordinary site remains as is. We'll be back to... I don't know when.
What's the hotline got here? You've heard wrong or fake news. The board is an A-OK intact. Rebel faction is former fired. Crisis purge is over. It's not a matter of worry for you. You can hang up now, please. Strange. Nothing from Trench. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Dark place, finished tango. Search the slide project. Okay, that's where Alright, Shadow, you have a good one. Thanks for coming by. I'm trying to remember what I did with that slide projector. What does this button do? Oh, okay, it brings me all the way back here. Okay. Anything else here? No? Alright. Nope. I see you. Alrighty. So what's across the way? That's a question mark area. Crap! I don't want to deal with you! Fine. It's over there. I need to kill these guys quick. Oh my god, how many of you are there? Oh, hell no. Okay, they do want that. I'm just gonna go. Bye. Have a good day. Alright, so we got 3 tokens. What can we do here? Melee damage. I hardly ever use melee. That one I could. That only uses 1. And I don't use C's. Ooh. Ooh, that is tempting. That's very tempting. I'm gonna use that. Alright, so where do we go? Whoa! Let's try you out. Or not. Okay, she goes at an angle. Instead of just straight down. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, excuse me. Where do I need to go? Okay, that's main mission. Dark place. Sector elevator. I want to visit Dylan again. Where's he at? No, wait, he wasn't in the Panopticon. Or what? He was somewhere here. I think. I don't remember. Like he was holed up somewhere around here.
Good luck out there.
That's what the what's this?
This is Lynn Salvador, head of PR Security. I'm making a formal security order due to the incident in April, case number 21HQ593. Improper use of the jukebox altered item led to 2 fatalities. We believe a pair of agents used the jukebox to travel to the quarry threshold and engage in inappropriate workplace behavior. An expedition team found them decomposing at the formation's base a week later.
Yeesh.
At least we found out the jukebox doesn't bring corpses back when the song ends. I'm having the jukebox placed in a secure location in the executive sector. It should never have been accessible to low clearance staff in the first place. The new location's security and proximity to a high traffic area will prevent misuse while still allowing for expedition teams to access it when required. See me for any further details.
Hello.
Hi. There's a Reesh.
Lots of errors.
That's the executive office right there.
Apparently the director restored HRA production. They're already getting orders.
I do not remember where Dylan is. He's not in the boardroom. He's somewhere else. Oh, hello. What have we here? Timeline of events. To examine the invasion's timeline of events for possible patterns in his behavior, establishing a timeline is difficult at present because of the lack of reliable communications between Bureau sectors and staff. Preliminary models indicate ground zero of the invasion is located within the executive sector. Once it became possible to interview surviving personnel, pinpointing the exact location should be feasible. Other outstanding questions that a timeline may help answer. How did the Hiss get past the internal lockdown? Does the Hiss resonance advance through space, deliberately or uniformly? What's their ultimate goal, the outside world, or a cross-dimensional destination? Refer to redacted for full report. Hello, Emily.
Do you remember Mr. Tomasi, the head of communications? The Hiss he was changed into showed up in containment, near the turntable.
I'll take care of it. That thing's not getting away this time.
I've heard reports about his particular use of language and intonation when repeating the Hiss babbling. The biological and behavioral distinctions between different Hiss-corrupted individuals is truly fascinating. I wonder if I could categorize the data.
And she's already off on her own thing. Have you learned anything about Dylan's condition?
Only that he's definitely Hiss, but I guess his chanting made that pretty obvious. Interestingly, the words of the Hiss incantation have an average length of 4 letters. The most common word used 7 times is want. The next most common are through and time. That's very interesting, don't you think?
I don't care about the words. What about my brother?
Right. Sorry, I got a little off track. Well, strangely, his tissue samples all look healthy, unlike the other Hiss I've tested.
That's good news. Right? I've been seeing these Darling presentations all over. Seems like he enjoys the limelight.
So you noticed, huh? When he recruited me out of college, he actually came to visit. He interrupted my physics course by shouting, not quite, Professor, and then marching down to the front of the class where he proceeded to berate the very idea of laws of thermodynamics. Hey, he's been a showboat all his life.
Darling visited you in college?
Yeah, he read a paper I'd published, came to recruit me for the Bureau. I accepted and then spent years waiting for access to the confidential research that Darling promised me. And whenever I ask about my access level, he just mumbles that it's temporarily postponed and then changes the subject to the effect of entropy on luck.
I wonder who else Darling had his work from. Marshall? Trench? I wanted to talk to you about the crazy things I can do. My abilities. I get the sense that they're not very usual around here.
Well, usual and unusual aren't really benchmarks at the Bureau, but for some perspective, Director Northmore once used the floppy disk to send a bowling ball 6 yards through the air, and that was considered a huge deal. So compared to that, you are most certainly an outlier.
An outlier. I like the sound of that. I should get going.
Don't let me hold you up.
Northmore. He was the director before Trench. Let's look up here first. If we understand a hiss to be a force based on vibration and resonance, then perhaps their incantation, which is not the agreed upon term for their vocalizations, is an effort to express that resonance using human vocal cords and speech. Would there be differences in the incantation were recited in a different language? Most common word is want. Interestingly, every usage of the word is attributed to you. You want to listen. You want this to be true. You want these waves to drag you away. And are we the you the hiss referring to? Does the hiss believe humanity, possibly all non-hiss life, wants to join it? To be consumed by it? Is that its goal? The second most used words are through and time. In this possibility, the hiss is stating, is this possibly the hiss stating how they arrived here, or indication of its age? There is clear intention in the words. Dismissing the incantation as nonsense, as some of my colleagues recommend, is beyond idiotic. Alright, let's see if we can find Dylan. Wherever the hell he is.
She's gonna get us all killed.
What if she's working with the hiss? Isn't it strange she showed up just when they did?
Sorry, just say something about Dylan. Where's he at?
They're endangering us by bringing a hiss in. If Trent is still around, we'll stop.
Trent was part of the same shadowy group that was responsible for every disaster this country's ever seen.
Zachariah Trent was a national hero. Keep your conspiracy nonsense to yourself.
Aha! There you are.
Maybe Dylan's still in there. Maybe there's a way to reach him.
I'd like to talk to my brother, please. Dylan?
Dylan would like to tell you about a dream he had just now.
This again?
I was going to be the new director of this place. I helped you get a job here so that we could be together. You were an office assistant. You'd make coffee and deliver the mail, and there was always plenty of work to do. And it stayed that way forever and ever. It was nice. Really nice.
That's debatable.
But here's the strange thing. The dream shifted, and none of it was real anymore. It was a game. We were in a game, and it was a fucking boring game. But you couldn't stop playing. And then it shifted again. Or maybe it was
Was that supposed to be a fourth wall break?
Or maybe I'm just confusing them. But in this other dream, it was more like a musical. This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary town. It's the ordinary story. She worked an ordinary job in an ordinary office. Something. And that's all I can remember of that dream.
Maybe that's for the best.
No, thank you. I do not wish to deal with that.
Maybe I can learn more about the hiss from him.
Can we talk?
I just had an interesting dream.
Shit.
That's fascinating, but let's talk about the hiss for a change, yeah?
This dream was about the hiss.
Best I'm gonna get.
In my dream, the hiss had broken free of this prison, this house. I'd set it free. And the president himself was there to welcome us. He was the first one to take the hiss in. Spread the word. At
At first, many people thought it was horrifying. That he was horrifying. But also, many people who heard his words wanted to welcome the hiss in. And slowly, more and more of them came around until the whole world was brought together by the hiss. It was wonderful.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that. For the record, that will never happen. Not as long as I'm alive.
I will reject instrumentality.
Maybe I'm just here to punish myself.
Any new dreams you'd like to share, Dylan?
I'm glad you asked, sister. This dream, like all dreams now, felt very real. Like reality. And reality now feels like a dream. Maybe it's all a dream. Maybe it's all real.
Dream where my brother endlessly tells me about his dreams.
I was in a dark place, and there was a dark man there. His name was Mr. Door, and he told me that there are many worlds, side by side, on top of each other, some inside of others. In one world, there was a writer who wrote a story about a cop. In another world, the cop was real. Door said he himself was in all of them at the same time, endlessly shifting between them. I asked him how I could reach these worlds. I wanted to bring the hiss there. But he didn't want to help me. He didn't like the idea. What did he know?
I'm not wild about the idea myself.
I think that one is the Alan Wake and Max Payne reference. The one about the writer and the one about the cop. It's a little vague, but I heard about like some kind of reference to at least Max Payne. There's obviously some of Alan Wake. Hell, there's a DLC concerning Alan Wake. Shifting bathroom complaint. Listen, I know you can't control the building shifts, but the executive level restroom has been missing for weeks now. I worked off my ass in the Islamabad station for 3 years. I've earned the right place to a nice workplace shitter. If you can't bring it back, at least find out where it went. D. Rodriguez. Let's see if we can... I don't know if I can go back to the... Do I have one? Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this crap. Alright, at least I know what to do in it. Oh, if I can fare better. Considering the modifier that they added in here, that's not going to be good. Ow! Who did that, you jackhole? Do you have any idea how much that stings? Oh, crapiola! Where's this bitch? Ow. Yep. I ain't doing this. That's way too difficult. I would like to leave. How the hell do I get out of here? Ah, great. Unmapped area. Can I leave? I don't like this place, and I don't want to be stuck here for another 20 minutes. There we go. Abandoned expedition. Let's just move on. I got better things to do. Let's go here. Containment sector. Alright, do we want dark place or do we want to look for Mr. Tomasi? Tomasi is in the containment area. Where's that at? Oh, we got a new outfit. Oh, never mind. That's not a new outfit. Have we seen this one? We'll stick with the golden suit. Alright, so we'll do this one first. So it's sector elevator. That is where?
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there, reaching for her, trying to make her act. It was a distress call. Phaeton sensed a drowning man, a hunger in the dark. Investigation sector.
Investigation sector, huh? We should check this out.
Wait a minute. Is this a DLC content? control
Jesse Faden
a
could hear it.
dark place.
Call. It was faint, reaching for you from a dark place. Faden was sensitive to visitations. She had them all the time. From her guiding star and the previous director. She was the perfect receiver. As if she'd been made for this. Faden paused to feel it. The force in play here. It was changing things around her, subtle, trying to make her act. Faden didn't like that. Her guide felt it too. Polaris didn't flare up in defense as with the hiss. So it wasn't all bad. Not a hostile transmission. It was powerful, but it was coming from far away. And made weak because of the distance. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man. A man desperate to escape. She sensed something else, too. A hunger in the dark. Not unlike the hostile resonance. Waiting. She knew that desperate acts can have grim consequences. It was this, more than the man's despair, that made her follow the call. The elevator lights winked back on. The darkness receded like a memory. There was a new button on the elevator control panel. Investigation sector. Faden pressed the button. The elevator doors slid shut with practiced bravado.
Okay, so this is the DLC stuff. It opens up after reaching a certain point in the game. I thought it was just like a separate thing in and of itself. Interesting. Okay, so we have the choice of not doing either of these, or we could just go ahead and try take a gander into the Alan Wake stuff. Is this whole ass thing in Alan Wake? I think probably just like the DLC content for him is. Let's take a gander. Or rather, a read. Let's see how weird this gets. Why is it so friggin' dark? Never mind.
Hello? Anyone here?
Guess not. Seems a lot more crowded in the rest of the bureau.
Darling investigation. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation Delta 0845 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, head of research. Despite the accounts of anonymous redacted regarding the inhumane treatment of a redacted currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of redacted sector personnel seemed to be wholly unaware of any such redacted contained there. One redacted confirmed the redacted's code name to be the redacted, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the redacted research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do not recommend an investigation into redacted research. What are you highlighting now? Casey inquiry. Mr. Dennis, or is it Denis? A request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all our files on Bright Falls. Oh, here you go, Mike. Specifically on the disappearance of the author, Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of the fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing the same name of the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with the writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word, and I'll start surveillance on this guy. Special Investigator Gleason. Mr. Kirkland, here the latest agents conferred missing, presumed dead from the containment breach yesterday. Agent Jonathan Connor, researcher Ezra Cruz, Agent Caroline Dempsey, Agent Lindsay Malcolm, Agent Charles Murray, and Agent Derek Shaw. Letters of condolence will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You'll be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and only hard copies of reports existed behind the firebreak. They're lost, I'm afraid. Keystone inspection. Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Grumman Morales desertion issue. Feed's getting choppy. I'm not losing any frames. Hopefully it's fine. I'm just going to keep reading. We didn't find any sign of them here. Given their records, it is possible they switched teams, like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Thin air, I know how to speak. Reminds me of the Ordinary case, but that was just the adults. If I'm remembering the file correctly, this is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it wasn't AWE, it needs to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. Overlapping circles, with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, send a team out here to cordon this place off, and maybe get a comms guy working on the cover story. Sincerely, Agent Keenum. Is this still choppy, or...? Tractor procedures. Item is not in Bureau custody, none known. A Frank Elk tractor, olive green, dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses or growls and unmanned locomotion. Considered highly aggressive and dangerous. Item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow under the owner of Burrow Farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on the scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath this tractor. Police arrived but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panic calls to the federal authorities were intercepted by Bureau communications staff, and the team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item and responded by growling like a bear. Why am I stuttering? 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mrs. Burrow, only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. A bit? I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm not losing any frames. So I don't know if it's my CPU. So I'm gonna run around a little bit. Let me know if it's like still choppy. Is it still choppy or did it fix itself? Alternatively, you might have to refresh. Assuming you haven't done it already. Ethics investigation. Mostly noticed while I was reading? Okay. Weird. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigations P149er was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate Program, redacted by the Federal Bureau of Control. Once all known subjects relevant to the investigation use executive privilege to decline interviews and very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systematic redacted and redacted. Redacted were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination with the testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. Excuse me. The program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic redacted of preternaturally inclined redacted. Not only is this in breach of the Ash Act, but it flies in the face of basic human redacted. The investigations team unequivocally redacted the Prime Candidate Program, reckons that it be redacted immediately. Resignation letter. To whom it may concern, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations for the Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's redacted. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame this situation on our redacted, who has routinely ignored my requests for assistance in reclaiming the parts of the investigation sector lost to the redacted loose inside. Uh-oh. I will never forget the screams of the brave agents begging for us to open that fire break. I will carry that shame for the rest of my days. The redacted has failed his agents. I shall never forgive him for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland. Still choppy. Is it only when I'm reading? Mr. Denis, so yes, there is an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that the tiny little detail has slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filling the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in the sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this whole thing is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. I think it's more noticeable because they're small, half-second stalls. Weird. I'll have to look at the VOD. I'm just gonna keep going. This is an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not be sitting on your desk. People are getting restless, and, as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Best regards, Agent Grayson. Cauldron Lake. The chief investigator, Denis, it happened again, third time this year. Something certainly has it out for our redacted. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough, but why the hell would raccoons keep going after the monitoring station? Doesn't add up. Anyway, we've got a bureau tech going to the site next week to take a look. Next on the list recurring problems is the staff at the Lake House Research Station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on Redacted Lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't even know what they're researching out here. We need to petition them to share their info with investigation agents. It's only a matter of time before this Redacted hits again, and I want to be prepared. Anyway, if anyone at HQ asks why the Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't take any readings. In the meantime, I might invest in some raccoon traps. Sincerely, Agent Estevez. Bright Falls, so it's more Alan Wake stuff. Underhill background. Dr. Raya Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no incidents or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations of any record of her breaching her NDAs since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and have revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. Is that a thing? This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. Shaded facet. Director investigation. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Redacted was launched into the Redacted of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in Redacted witnessed in Director Trench, including aggressive Redacted when Redacted with other staff, have been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable Redacted between Director Trench and Dr. Darling have been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their arguments centered around the Dimensional Research Wing and the Redacted kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Dr. Trench's Redacted is anything more than interpersonal disagreements. This investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any Redacted and that his fitness to lead is not in question. An astronaut's helmet? Trench. Official warning. Oh boy. Kirk, I am growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence on my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen? holding a dangerous specimen investigations. The containment sector exists for a reason. They're better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they're admirably taken on certain AWE at monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past me. You are a worm. Past my notice. You're a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You are both failures, plotting against me. You're traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want it. You don't want to be. Zachariah Trench. I don't know why it's so freaking dark in here, though. Okay.
Working.
So I gotta get the,
Probably a loose power core somewhere.
I just gotta get the core from that other room. Supplementary materials. Miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrow. 33-year-old man found dead in his property per police report. Remains obtained. The coroner's office also include blood, urine, bowel, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Autopsy findings: blunt force injuries to the head, lacerations to the left ear and cheek, blunt force injuries, extremities, dislocation, right knee, complete avulsion of the upper right extremity with an associated fracture of the proximal right humerus, extensive trauma, abdominal region, complete avulsion of the multiple organs including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions of the large and small intestines, all missing from the scene. It is my opinion that Mr. Burroughs' death is not the result of a mechanical accident, but as claimed by authorities, but the removal of organs is consistent with an animal attack. Did that thing eat him?
Now that gate should open.
Specimen escape assessment. The purpose of internal investigation X-ray 039-7 is to examine the containment failure of specimen. Was that S? Was that is that an I or an L? Sierra India 1 that resulted in the deaths of redacted agents. My foot's falling asleep. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error to be the cause, yet no department has provided any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to cover the researchers' notes on the specimen before from the internal network. On the redacted of redacted, the specimen began displaying sharp increase in aggressive redacted. Cross-referencing that with various logs found only 2 events inconsistent with the sector's daily routine. The air filters were changed, and 1 and 2. An hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice, redacted, entered the sector regarding an unrelated investigation. Given their connections to the same AWE case, it is likely that Mrs. Redacted's presence is irrelevant to the specimen's escape and to the redacted investigation is ongoing. They keep talking about this tractor, and I feel like I'm going to end up fighting it.
definitely happened here.
You think? Blessed Organization. This group or individual has operated outside of the Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups, not groups. I now speak. A review of past cases have found various mentions of their activity over the years. 2016, a production company called The Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent exposed to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in the legal use of an altered item. In 1988, the business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals have ever been located. However, the connection to appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be considered circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with the Blessed Organization. Ow, my foot! Alrighty. Two. And three.
Do we know each other? This feels familiar. I can't seem to... I've forgotten it. I'm sorry. My name is Alan Wake. Who are you? Who are you? Do I know you?
I'm your friend Tom. Tom Zane. There's nothing to worry about.
Tom. The poet. The diver. You look different.
That was just a role, a character.
That's the poet that Jesse mentioned before.
I'm a filmmaker, an auteur like yourself. We're working on this together, remember? An artistic collaboration. You need a drink.
Night Springs.
Yep.
Endless darkness. Nothing holds still.
We're very close now. You've been writing. You found a way to escape. It'll work this time.
Writing?
You found a way!
No. I don't... Wait. There's something. It's my double. He's out there. I've seen
Yeah.
him.
Nothing to worry about. I'm dealing with it. It's fine, my friend. Let me handle him.
You've met him? What the hell?
Now, come on. You misunderstand me.
That was Alan Wake, the writer who went missing in that AWE case I read about. What's he doing here?
Well, there you go.
Thomas Zane was with him. The poet. No, wait. He was a filmmaker. I always remember that wrong.
So yeah, apparently Alan disappeared. It's nighttime. Oh boy. I don't like this. Okay.
Dr. Emil Hartman, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman, broke loose, killed everyone it could, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came, a resonance. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
You want to clarify that for me, Mr. Wake?
Dr. Emil Hartman was desperate. The Federal Bureau of Control had stolen his life's work. This was his last chance, his final experiment. What he'd been too scared to do before. Hartman dove into the lake, was taken, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Only an echo of him remained, fragmented impulses on autoplay, violent, bloodthirsty darkness in the driver's seat. Emerging from the lake, the thing was captured by the FBC, brought in, contained, studied. The thing broke loose, killed everyone it could. The FBC fell back and sealed the sector. The thing was alone in the dark, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came. Not darkness, but similar enough. A sound. A resonance. It shouldn't be a surprise. If there's one, why not another? The darkness inside the thing could have been immune, could have resisted, fought, could have been passed by, passed through with no effect. But it didn't, and it wasn't. Maybe it had grown weaker over time, not aged. It was timeless. But weaker with no link to its source. A metamorphosis followed. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
Interesting. And one. Two. Three. Oh, great, this place again. Oh, shit. Don't tell me I'm gonna have to go there. Shit. Back! Back! Okay. That worked.
Creepy, damp, and abandoned. Why did Wake want me to come here?
Good question. I don't know. But considering that he's gone missing, he's might be here. Um
That doesn't look like a house shift. Do I even want to know?
What the fuck? Did it stop? Oh, that got weird. What's that? Cleanse 25 control points, okay. But we've hit our limit, so we're gonna go ahead and stop here for the night. It seems like the further deeper we go, the more confusing it gets. So I think what's going on is that my CPU is running high and I have no idea what's causing it. Unless something's updating. And the funny thing is that this is DLC content, so like we're not even touching like the main story. This is just stuff that just happened to tie in with Alan Wake, so it's gonna be interesting. Anyways, we'll come back to that next Wednesday. We'll continue with more Phoenix Wright on Monday and Tuesday, and back to this on the following Wednesday and Friday. So yeah, thank you for joining me tonight. Yeah, I mentioned before, after either this or Phoenix Wright is done, I'm pretty sure my next Let's Play will be my story playthrough of Mortal Kombat 1. So that's going to be the next game I'll be buying. I'm not going to touch Baldur's Gate or get Baldur's Gate 3 because I'm still in the middle of Elden Ring. I might do some more impulse gaming of Elden Ring. Just to beat, like, I'm still kind of quote unquote stuck, but for the sake of progress, I can still fight. What's the dragon's name? I came across it in Fair Missoula. It's a two-headed dragon. I forget the name. But yeah, I came across that, and then of course I still gotta beat Melania, which I'm actually pretty confident in the plan / strategy that I have in mind. So we'll see where it takes me. If it takes me probably an hour to try and beat her with no success, I'll probably just move on and level up or re-strategize. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. Anyways, links down below. The first one will take you to the Lazy League Discord. There you can be able to find the rest of us, the Lazy League, such as Oh Hey My K, who is still going through East 8, whichever one Lacrimosa of Donna is, and he is going to continue on with the East series, moving on to East 9, Monstrum Nox, because East 10 is coming out soon. So yeah, I have been enjoying his playthrough of that series. It's probably I'll even outright say it. It's probably one of my favorite series that I've seen him do, just because of like the lore and storyline behind all of it. It's like one of the more consistent character series that I've seen outside of like the likes of Legend of Zelda or Metroid and that kind of thing. It's spanned the test of time. It's lasted for like, I don't know, when did East first come out? I know it started on the MSX, so that dates back pretty friggin' far. 87, that's what I thought. So yeah, same age as like Metroid. So, which is kind of funny because the item jingle that you get from it is the same thing. Anyways, I digress. You can also catch Batgwin, who's going through his playthrough of Remnant 2, as well as Red Dead Redemption 2, and as also some achievement hunting and Fallout on Sundays. I like to catch that Sunday mornings. He is mostly the reason why I'm stuck in Elden Ring, and his Elden Ring is more of just filler, which really sucks, because he is right there, and all we need to do is just beat one boss and I can move on. But anyways, oh well. Gumdolph, speaking of which, his playthrough of Remnant 2 is a co-op with Gumdolph, and he also Gum also does his own streams. He has like a community kind of I can't say podcast kind of thing. It's like a just thing he does with his community. It's pretty interesting, a little fun. And a bunch of other streamers you'll catch on there. Come hang out with us, come be lazy with us. A lot of fun stuff that goes on there. Gaming news, Penguin news. He's covered the what's it called? I'm brain farting. The PlayStation thing that happened the other day. I don't even know if he covered Nintendo, but yeah, this is hopefully keeping us to date. Oh, speaking of which, it was announced during State of Play. That's what it is. When it's released, when it's updated, I will be returning to Resident Evil 4 because of Separate Ways. So that's something I'll still look forward to. Because I want to play some more Resident Evil 4. So yeah, when we get there, we'll get there. Where was I? Oh yeah, tabletop gaming, D&D talks, watch parties. Mike and I host Lazy Anime, which is on Saturdays. So yeah, we select anime that we like to watch or wanted to watch or experience. Or yeah, Mike hosts and streams Gao Gaigar, King of the Braves, Samurai Pizza Cats, as well as I think we're getting close to finishing God Eater, and I suggested that we should do like a marathon of the Universal Century what we call it, installments of Mobile Suit Gundam, just like the different ones that all happen within the Universal Century. Whereas I have been covering mostly City Hunter. We're in City Hunter 2, and we just finished Ghost Stories. Or actually, we just started in replacement Castlevania. We're going to go through all 4 seasons, as well as a new one coming out soon at the end of the month, Nocturne. So that's going to be fun. And a couple other ones that'll be after that. I've got a list that people want to do. I think another one that we thought about doing was Critical Role, The Legend of Vox Machina. So that's something to look forward to. Let's see, what other watch parties? Oh, Sundays, Star Trek. I host a watch party of Star Trek, Strange New World Season 2, as well as a select number of episodes. I think this Sunday we'll be doing one from Next Generation, and non-related. Following that, we also do a watch party of the first season of Invincible, because they've seen it, but I haven't, and I want to experience it. So that's something to look forward to. Anyways, yeah, you got that. Second link up there that probably adds faded already. Will take you to the sister site for this channel. You'll be able to find more info and other upcoming streams that I have planned, as well as my archive of all the past streams that I've done over 9 years. We're in year 10, people. I don't know how I managed to keep up with this, but there's always something to play, and I'm not complaining. But you can also find other past Let's Plays that I've done. And if you've got any questions, comments, concerns that you would like me to know about, or any suggestions that you might have for me for future Let's Plays or Retro Nights, not pertaining to N64 edition now, considering that I plan on doing Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's on the wheel, so it's a PlayStation one. Although I think they did. I don't know if it's on the Switch, but I think it might be on the PlayStation store as well. So I might grab that instead, because I think it includes Rondo of Blood. And I don't know if I should do that as well. I don't know. We'll see. I'll look into it. But yeah. Alternatively, link down below to the Twitter, as well as other links to help support the channel. Yeah, you can reach out to me from there, as well as other streamers who aren't connected to the Lazy League or affiliated that I personally like to watch or follow. Check them all out whenever you can. They're all great. And again, thank you for joining me tonight for this return finally to Control after a fucking month. It's good to be back, and hopefully we've made some progress. I know we're getting to a DLC thing, but yeah, it's still fun. It's still X-Files. I'm enjoying it. It's interesting as all hell, but I think this is probably the closest thing I'll ever get to getting an X-Files game. Rondo of Blood's really good, and Symphony of the Night is a direct sequel. I think that's why it's packaged together. So yeah, but other than that, you guys have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys Monday for more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Until then, take care, love and hype. Life is good. Good night, everyone.